you want to run something on a specific day of time or other criteria, for example, JavaScript code, when you have a chatbot or something like that, you can use the date and time. Then you select what you want to use. So when, for example, the time is between a specific time or a specific time, but let's say a specific day of the month, and then you see that it's by default it picks out the current date and time, so it's today, and these are the days in this month. So but you can also choose for another trigger. Then you go to the dates, and then you can use a specific time or date or day of the month. And you can also use the criteria is not, is before, or is after. So that is one. Now if you want to run a specific recipe for the user, then you can choose for example, one time or two or hundreds, whatever you want. And you can also choose for the total times of runs. And of course it's the same thing, and then you can save it. And well, that is for the whole recipe. And in the fields itself, then you can make the delay with this little box. So I'm going to show you how you can use the point systems from Uncanny Automator and to create specific rules that the credits will only run, or the email campaign, the email campaign will only run when they have a certain amount of credits. And once they have get the mail with, for example, the coupon code, then there will be 0 points again on that particular subscriber. So I'm going to delete this one, and if you want to know how the triggers work, then watch the other tutorials. So I'm going to select them and I'm going to delete them, so there is no email in this email box anymore. So what we are going to do is going to send the form once, and then we refresh the page, and you can see here there are 0 points on this moment, and now there are 200. Now the first trigger was that we have sent an email address for the new subscriber, and they get immediately 100 points, and when they get 100 points or more, then they get the email you won. But it will always run, so there is no conditional logic in here. So what we want to do is make conditional logics. So let's see, now we have 200 points, and we're gonna submit the form once again, and then we're gonna see that we have 400 points, but there is no 400 points when we refresh the page, because it's going to be 0 once again. Let's submit it once again. So now there is 600 points. And now there are 0 points. Now why were there more than 400 points? Because I had a delay in it. I'm going to show you that later on. So what happens is that we have a bunch of emails, and we don't want that. So we're going to the dashboards, and we're going to make another recipe, and the recipe must be a user's meta key is updated, and the user meta key was user credits, what we've made in the first tutorial, and then it has to be run if. Now this is for the Elementor pop-up, but I'm not going to show you that now, but this is run if the meta value is greater than 400 points, and then send an email to this particular email address and to the subscriber itself. And then later, when they get over the 400 points, then the credits must be given a value of 0. Of course, you can also make it whatever you want, 100 credits or whatever, but in this case it's going to be 0 points. Now there was a delay from 2 seconds, and that's the reason why there were sent multiple emails, and we don't want that, so we are going to remove the trigger, the delay, and we're going to increase the points. So let's see, we have here now 0 points. No, actually let's keep it the same. So we're going to save it and we're going to run it once again. So we're going to submit the form, then we get 200 points. Let's see if it works. And we're going to refresh the page, and these are the 200 points. And now we have in the inbox the email. And delete this one. And yeah, this is the one. Sorry, I deleted as well. But now we are going to submit it once again, and there must be 0 points when we refresh the page, because the delay is gone, so there are 0 points, but they get the email with the coupon code. Now it's take a little while. The internet is not so fast, and there it is. So this is the email that they have get. So when you go into the trigger, then you see the user meta and the email address. So we made an email address, and from admin. It's not important, you can configure it by yourself. And two, and you can use the trigger through the user email. So then you can delete this one, and you can make an email with whatever you want. So the important thing was that we have used a user meta key user credits is updated. So we're going to delete this one, and we're going to WordPress, and we are going to now it's this one. A user specific meta key is updated, because in the previous video we used the second one. A user specific meta key is updated to a specific value, so then you can immediately embed the value, but then you can't filter it out later on. So what I did is the user specific meta key is updated, and the meta key was of course user and then underscore credits, and then we save it. So and then when if you can see here now, it's red because we have to customize it a little bit. So the token will be user credits. So WordPress, the token will be user credits. So that it was the token that we made, and then the meta value. So not the key, because the key was user credits, but the meta value. So this is one that we need. And then you can choose a criteria, and that is the criteria is greater than or equal to. So when it's greater than 400 or equal to 400, then it will run. But of course you can choose whatever you want. And here on the list, you can check it out by yourself. So when you want to have another criteria, then you can configure that. It speaks from itself, you know, if it's greater than or does not contains, and so on. But in this case it's 400, and let's just increase it with no, it's 400. It's okay. Let's say the value is 300 and we save it. So it's greater than or equal to 300. Then it will run on the 300 points. So you have to keep that in mind. That is very important. So by the this is only user credits. A user uses meta key user credits is updated. So this was what we have done now in this tutorial. And if you can see, keep it in mind. Watch this. Keep it in your mind. So, and then when we go into the other criteria or the other trigger, so that was this one. This was a user made meta key user credits. So this is the meta key that we have made in the previous tutorial, is updated to a specific value. So this is going to run immediately. So this is the difference. Then you can embed the value and then you can use an action, but you can't filter it out. So this is the difference. And when we are going to the trigger once again, to all the recipes and to the trigger from this tutorial, edit, then of course we set up the 0 points when they reached when they have get the 300 points. So after the 300 points, then the trigger will be, they will send it an email, and then the key, the user meta, user credits will be set on 0. It's very important that you do this, because otherwise the email will run time after time after time, because we have said that the meta value is greater than 300 points. So every time when they submit, in this case the form submission, they will get the email, and that is not what we want. Of course, you can also send a delay on all the filters. So when you first you have to save it, otherwise it won't work, and then you can schedule it to a specific date of time, and you can do that with all the triggers. So you can select you can choose a schedule, and then, well, blah blah blah, and then you can set it for an amount of time. And you can do that, of course, with all the triggers that you are making with this Uncanny Automator. And don't forget to make it live. And once you have done that, everything should be fine. Now, I hope that it makes sense, and if you have any question, then leave it on the comments. Later on, I'm going to show you the meta keys that you can use with, for example, advanced custom fields, or with Crocoblock, or with other tools, but that is in later tutorials. And I'm going to show you a lot of more, and I see you in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching.